weekend. A bunch of friends were there, and it sounded kind of exciting. And honestly, Mom kind of put her elbow in my side. She said, "You're going to do this." She said, "Here, get that $700 deal that we had back then." And she said, "You're going to do this business, and I'll help you do it." And I thought, okay, well, and the idea that maybe I could build something and make a little extra money was really appealing. I graduated with a degree in journalism and learned very quickly that before the paycheck was there, it was spent. But I really didn't know what this would entail. I had never worked by myself, or this was, I was just out of college. So we kind of linked arms and decided to do this together.
Well, the one thing we did do was not wait. I went to Kathy Epperson's house on the day to sign up and had 2 people with me. I understood it would take people. It never occurred to me that it was going to be product sales. It was about getting people. That was the most important thing. And I had no trouble asking people. Kelley had a lot of trouble with that, and she was sure.
I was sure nobody would want to join my business because I was a kid, right? And I thought, well, so what we decided to do is we began to build a presentation. Every single Thursday night, we did one together. We had a few people who said that they would like to join our team, and I knew that if they came and if they heard from some of the older people that they would join my team maybe because they were so good. So we went very quickly initially, and I went into area call my first month, and then finished area, and then I stayed at area for a year. And that's really when I began to understand my why, and Arbonne became something that I was going to do, and I had to develop those skills.
Kelley is the best trainer on our team, okay? Because she'll listen to you. I got enough already. I'm a publisher. I worked with my husband. I had plenty going on. My time was like in tight increments. So if you and I got behind, if you didn't show up on time, I left. I couldn't wait. Kelley would wait. She would go to the AAA with you, watch them change your tire, all whatever made you wait. And I'm like, I don't know how she does that. But anyway, that has changed for her because her life has changed.
Yes, fast forward 8 years ago, 8 years ago, my husband and I got married, and very quickly, 11 months later, we had our first, and we had another one 16 months later, and then, we have a 7, 5, and 3-year-old now. So I love what Lisa Vorey says. I think this is brilliant, and this is how I build my business now. I build it in 4 15-minute increments every day because I have drive time, I go pick up kids, I'm carpool, I'm waiting for soccer, I'm at the grocery. I'm building my business in the nooks and crannies of a life that has very little extra time to give, because you know how that is. Mom, look at this. Mom, look at this. I don't like that food. She's bothering me, So I build it in the nooks and crannies, and it works that way.
The one thing that I wanted to convey to you this morning is that we are different, okay? What has happened is we set that Thursday meeting because it made me go talk to people. I wasn't waiting for Mary Jo to call me back and give me a couple of dates. I had my own presentation, and I was asking you to come to the presentation, and I was going to give you something you needed to hear. I knew one thing, that Arbonne's products were excellent, and that there were products that would change your life. And I've watched that happen. Dan Osborne taught me that. And I went out, and on the basis of a little 32, I don't even know how much it was, I never know, $32 cream. I just tell you to get it. Don't worry about that other thing. You get it at a discount. And Deanna said, this is a very important product, and we went out and went to Nation on it, on a $32 item, because it caused me to talk to everybody. Find the product that turns your world. If it's the 30 Days to Healthy Living, I stick my finger in people's sides all the time and say, I can help you with that.
We were at a truckers convention. They asked us to set up a table. So Mom, she comes up to this guy. He looked like he was from Duck Dynasty. She goes, when you gonna birth that baby? He bought the whole kit. Everybody's got their own style. We all have a different approach. But one of the things that Mom has taught me, and then one of the things that I tell my team all the time, please don't ask people to do you a favor. This is a business. We are doing this. We are offering them something. We're looking for people who have a need for our product and that would want to do our business, okay?
Get that right.
Don't mix those up. We always say, don't mix those up. We're looking for people. And you talk to them and you uncover what their desire is, and then you find a way to meet that need. I always say to people, okay, so what's interesting to you? What stood out? I don't ask yes, no questions. And they tell me. And then I say, what if I could, if I could give you that at da-da-da, or if I could give you that, or whatever, would you have a few people around the table? And I'll come and I'll take care of you. And, I talk to people all the time about trying this business on for size. And hey, if you're kind of interested in this business, or you kind of are piqued a little bit as you see how this business is conducted, I can help you try this on for size. You can earn commissions tonight. I'm going to teach and train you all together. If people are interested in the business, we're going to do this together. And if it's not a fit, that's okay. I'm still going to hook you up with Host Rewards.
She's got more story, man. Here's the deal. We just are looking for people.
Yeah.
Lisa Voorhees told me, when she first told me, I thought she was a crass commercialist. She, years ago, said, lead with the business. I thought, well, that is really not fair. But I want to tell you something. I lead with the business and the products follow along behind. I am looking for people who want this business. Like Kelley said, I don't really care whether you need it, because if need was any indicator, there'd be a lot of people out doing what they needed to do. Have you noticed how many people don't need or don't do what they need to do? But I find a lot of people do what they want to do, okay? I'm looking for want to, okay? And I'm looking to find those people. And I want to find the confidence. If I give them anything, I want to inspire them that they can. And that's an intangible. It's hard to say, you go make these many calls and do this and blah, blah, blah. Just go out there and talk to everybody like you can't stop. And when you find an opportunity, bring it up. Don't be an Arbonne consultant undercover. I am always looking for a way, because you know what? I have such a deep belief that this business is a magnificent business, particularly what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. What's coming is so revolutionary, the changes that are coming. And I've watched at Maui, I watched Kate Zanotti, and I thought, this woman is a visionary. She sees and knows the changes that are coming. She's positioning this company. That's her gift to us. She's positioning this company to be viable for generations to come. So that when you leave your business to your children, some of y'all young, some of y'all not so young, but some of you are young, and you're going to leave this business, you will be able to leave it because it will be viable for generations, in my view, okay? And I have done the work to come to that conclusion. So when I go to talk to somebody, I got that in the back of my mind. That's the confidence I have. What are you doing for the rest of your life? How do you like doing what that you're doing? And somehow it comes up, and I say, we need to talk. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. You may not want to talk to me, but I want to talk to you. And I usually get the appointment, okay? Because I'm pretty persistent about it. And I'm old. Old works. Used to be, you were young and everybody said, oh, she's so cute, I want to be her friend. Now they're afraid of you. It's like, okay, you better not give her too much grief. And they don't. But, you don't get as many looks. It's okay.
Well, and the same applies for if you're younger. You ask them. You ask them questions. They'll start to tell you that they hate that job. There are a lot of times people will start, though, and tell you, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you love it? That's one of the things I'm known for on the team. I go, oh, what do you do? You're a doctor? Do you love it? They'll look at me and go, it's okay, or yeah. And I begin to ask questions, and it's interesting because there's so many times that I'll talk to somebody and I'll ask, oh, do you all have kiddos or whatever? And I begin to ask questions. Before you know it, they're crying because they just missed their kiddo's birthday or whatever. And you'll uncover what that need is. And so, you just find out and meet that need.
Okay, so being prepared. That's a big deal for me. Some of you are out there thinking you've got oodles of time. I want to tell you something. I did this research for the speech tomorrow, and I looked at it and said a lot of things are going to change in 12 years. Do you know I'll be 80 years old in 12 years? You think this lasts forever? You're dead wrong. Okay? You can keep putting it off, and you think you have time. Some of you will have time, but will you have accomplished it and lived the fullness that you have? Will you help someone else live the fullness of a life that has no pinch at the end of the month? I've had money and I have lost money. I have sold jewelry to be able to make ends meet. Because I had the jewelry, thank God. I don't know what I'd done without it. But I want you to know, I have a confidence. I don't care what people tell me. They can look like they're doing really great, and I sit down and say, hey, I know you're living in that big house with no furniture. Why don't we talk? You can't fool me. I've already been there, okay? I already know about that. And you can, but I'll be 80. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope my grandchildren are old enough to travel with me by that time, because I really don't want to stop. But 80 looks, but I think it's going to be great. I'm excited about it. And you know what I'm really excited about it and why I want Kelley up here? Because, one day she'll run this business. I won't be here. That's my little Arbonne thing. And I'm not trying to be maudlin here. I'm just telling you, life is life. And, I have a husband now who, has lost his faculties, and I have full-time care. Do you know that wasn't in our budget? In the raging 50-year-old, 60-year-old years, that was not in our budget. Not in the 40s at all. We didn't see that coming. But I'm ready. Are you going to be ready? Are you going to be ready? Kelley has a story. How much time we got?
She's always got a story.
I got a story.
We're good?
So, yes. So 2 years ago, my youngest was 8 months old. I was nursing her, and my husband was having trouble. He said, when I get the kids in and out of the bath, my knee hurts. So he went in and learned he had a torn meniscus and went and saw a surgeon, and it was supposed to be no big deal. He was going to have this surgery and pop right back, be back at it, riding his bike in 2 weeks. Well, he had a blood clot a few days later, and a few days after that, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I think it was the Lord that woke me, and because he couldn't reach out to me, and I felt his hand, and it was so cold and wet. And he was having a pulmonary embolism in the middle of the night. And I asked him if he was okay, and he could barely tell me no. And I said, do I need to call 911? And he said yes. And thank God the kids were asleep. They never woke up through all this. We called 911. They came. They took his body out in an ambulance. He was okay at that point. They just were monitoring, trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Mom pulled in the driveway just as the ambulance, was taking him out, so she was able to stay with the kids. I got to the hospital and they said, you need to get his living will. We need to talk because he may not come out of here. And he looked over at me and he started talking about our finances. He wanted to take care of us. And he said, Kelley, I'm so grateful. Because, we didn't have to work our Arbonne business. And he was doing pretty well. But he said, thanks for never stopping. Thank you for never stopping. Because, the kids, with the savings we have and what we're doing, they'll be able to do this and do that. And you sell the house. And, he was telling me all this stuff. But he thanked me. And I was so grateful. I came home, and he came home about 5 days later. But he wasn't able to go up and down stairs for months after that. He just didn't have the stamina. He was just not well. And they put him on blood thinners, and he had reactions. I mean, I couldn't leave the house, okay? So what I did is I put the kids to bed early. And
They go to bed at 3:30.
the joke in the house. The joke in the house. Everybody in my house is in bed. All the kids by 7.
Lunch is the last meal.
Yeah, my brother always says, hey, we're talking about having a family dinner at 5. Are the kids going to be in bed by then? But I started to put them to bed early so I could conduct my business because I had to have that time. And
we did it
at my house. We just said, okay, let's roll up our sleeves and do what we were doing. And I doubled my income that year. And in my Arbonne business, we've had at least 6 figures, that our team has produced just about, at least for the last year. I mean, we are on track. We will be an ENVP or Executive Nation very soon. And it just inspired me and gave me this thought that we work and we get so comfortable. And I was comfortable. I mean, if I saw a pair of shoes or we wanted to go to dinner, I could do that. And it was just savings and just fun money, right? Well, now I realize life is very precious. And all of a sudden, my husband came back and he had this big corporate job, and I said, you know what? You hate going to the office. Let's start your own business. Don't deal with the commute. Get your own office, find your own partners, let's do this. And Arbonne has allowed us to do that. And now, he shows up to everything. So God is good, and I'm so thankful.
Okay, I guess here, the one thing I wanted to say, this is the last thing, and it is true, lunch is the last meal. You go over there and...
You're not any better. Shelby says you and Mom eat so early.
Well, you got to have that 18 hours from 6 o'clock till 12 o'clock the next day for intermittent fasting. I mean, this is a lot of work. Anyway, I just am, and that's another thing. I work at this. I want you to know I am a product of the product.
Transformed my kids.
Kelley has become a cupcake mom online with all the recipes with the protein powder and the nut butters and the nut flours, etc. for kiddos that have you noticed how many kids have got issues? Well, Kelley's son Jack did. So you see, we've lived this business. When Jack had an issue, we just reached out and said, hey, these are things you can do. We found advocacy was a very good way to meet people. We're advocating for clean food. We're advocating for hyperbaric oxygen. You meet people in those circles. I don't just join Pilates. I go out and do something that means something. Because you know what people really are looking for? Meaning. What does this life mean? What is it about? How can I be useful? To be useful. That's always been my prayer. Lord, make me useful. Because I can't stand being a bump on a log. I was raised by an Army dad, and I married a Marine. It just gets worse. And there's, you either, move or paint it. And that's kind of what you've got to do something. This business gives me that something to do. What I did for Kelley in the beginning is now something I do to keep current. It's taught me all about the digital age. It's given me the ability to take care of my husband, which is a privilege and an honor for me, truly. And I've watched Kelley go through the things she has. I want to encourage you to please start talking to people. Make people your focus. Don't care if they don't love you back, just love them. That's your gift. Wait 1 second. And when they tell you no, we're a mother-daughter team. Do you underfeel me? And when they tell you no, it's okay. It's no for now. Kelley, tell them about it.
That's what I was going to say. I met a girl on the airplane right after I finished regional vice president about 12 and a half, 13 years ago. I met her on the airplane. I was heading out to Scottsdale. Donna Johnson had a meeting. I had a team in California. They were all going to fly over. And we started to talk. Well, she came to Donna Johnson's meeting the next day and met me. And we talked and we kept in touch. Well, we lost touch. Well, this week she contacted me. We have different last names, everything. She tracked me down through an old email account and called me. And we had the greatest talk. She said, it's just the Lord that we're talking today. And she's interested. She's back. She's had babies. The whole bit. Life has changed. Rebecca Bowers. I didn't even remember this, but she and I were friends in college. She's a VP direct to me, and she is just a powerhouse. And I sent her a package about 5 or 6 years before she ever even contacted me about Arbonne. I reached out and worked with her and then just kept going through different folks. And so she, about a year or so ago, after her car presentation and everything, she said, I found the first package you ever sent me. I said, I sent you a package? She said, yeah. And she took a picture. It had my eye on Arbonne and everything. I didn't even remember, but it wasn't her time. And a lot of people quit before payday. And if you quit, you're going to miss a lot of the cream that rises to the top. And it may take them a minute. But if you're still there, she said, you still do Arbonne? I said, I do. And I said, yeah, we're having a ball. We're launching in Germany, and we've got that going on. And she said, wow, I should have stuck with it. Can I talk to you now? Please don't quit.
And I mean, don't quit every minute. When you see that person, don't quit. Go up to them, stick your finger in their side.
That's her style, not mine.
Say, Kelley would want to sit and talk to you about how it all got to this. And I just want you to go forward. I want you to be better. I want you to see something different. I want you to see what's possible. And I want you to know that you quit all the time, because I've done it. I quit for a while, but I didn't quit the whole thing. If I had quit, I would have missed meeting Sybil Montero, Ashley Stone, I'll tell you what, I finally gave up on old Ash. I said, I can't tell that child anything else.
She sent me to talk to her.
I said, Kelley, I said, go.
She said, I cannot handle it. Would you please go?
You know, she slept till noon. I thought, now what kind of bum does that? And, but you know what? She has taught me how they do business. It's not the way a boomer does business. I was sure I was right, of course. And, but she taught me, and she showed me, by gosh, that she could get to MVP, and she sure did. And you know what, I have to tell you, I feel a little weird about that, because she and Sybil have teamed up together, and they have done this. I don't do anything for them much. I'm looking for confident, self-motivated, self-directed people. I am not your mother. I'm her mother, and she's enough. So my point is, you find those people, and you know what? They're scarce as hen's teeth, but you'll find them. All you need are four, you know, and you don't have to be the doctor. The doctor's not in. You don't need to listen to all their life drama. They're married, hopefully, or they've got a mother to send them back to them, and say, I'm in a business. If you would like to do business, I am here to do business with you. If you get the gumption up to talk to somebody and they shut you down, keep going. It wasn't because of you, it's their time, and they're maybe not that pleasant anyway. It's a godsend they shut you down, okay? Keep going, keep going. And you know, one day they're gonna introduce you and say, here is an executive national vice president, and you're gonna feel like a total fraud. Because you know what? You've just finally found people who want to, and they didn't need you really. They just appreciated you had the guts to come up and say, hey, I can help you with that. I can help you with that life. I can help you with that circumstance. I can help you. Because you know what? Money isn't everything, but like Rita said, it's right up there with oxygen. Try getting around without it. Tell the banker that, you know, you're had a lot of good feelings about this, and you called a lot of people, but you don't have the money. That doesn't work. You know, they would like the money. So it does have a measure, and money is the measure. Okay, you'll know you're successful because your checks are big. I like big checks. You like big checks? You like big checks? Yeah, go get a big check. And the way you do that is you find people who want to. You are not a benevolent society. You don't need to take, this is not a charity. You do not need people who need needy people. Ooh. Anyway, we love you. Are we out of time, Lisa? Thank you. We're not? We're good? Okay, what questions? Anybody got a question?